Sweet. We are live. Welcome, ladies and gents. We will officially start in 5 minutes. So if you are watching the recording, skip ahead 4 or 5 minutes. And mom, too loud on my headphones. All right, that's done. All right. For those who aren't here, let me know if you can hear me. Sweet. Welcome, Viper. Hey, Rio, welcome. Analysis this week has been on point. Great stuff. I think there was one that you posted. It was just like a straight rocket up. I was like, man, that was a really good one. I wish I got into that one. Yeah, XOM. That one went crazy. All right, we'll start in 4 minutes. Did anybody trade today? And if you did, how did it go? We can talk shop in the meantime as we wait for the others to come in. Also, for those who have never been in one of these lives, the same link that you joined to see this is the same link that you'll use to watch the recording and any subsequent viewings that you want to see for the specific class. When we finish this, I have it set up in, let me bring it up real quick so you guys can see it. I'm gonna share my screen really quickly. So when this video is done, it's gonna be posted in the training and walkthrough playlists. It'll also be in the live tab in the most recent one. So if you have to leave early and then you come back after the class is done, the same link that you use to watch this and to join is the same link that you'll be using to watch the recording. Cool. All right, we'll start in about 3 minutes. As always, for those who are new here, I require at least 50% participation for these free classes that I have for you guys. So we got 13 people in here and we have 7 likes, which is fine. But if we can get that to 10, that would be fantastic. Hit the little like button. I think the heart button might work too. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure. But yeah, the little thumbs up, little like button, greatly appreciate it. Hey, Edgar, how are you? The man himself. How did everybody's trading day go today? For those who did trade, you can type it in the chat. No judgment, whether you ended green or red, doesn't matter. If you want to share with us, put it in the chat. How did your trading day go today if you traded? Hey, a 1K day. Fantastic, Jay. Good stuff. You're bad at trading. Well, you've definitely come to the right place. Edgar, question for you. What group do you know me by? So how did you find this link for this class today? Viper got caught up divine. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of resources in the divine group. Just go to the educational center. Also, if you want to see more of my strategy, if you go to my channel, my advanced alerts, and you go to the pins section, I give you pretty much all the resources you need for my trading strategy and how to understand my watch list. Hey, Bob, welcome. Viper got caught up in chop, was red, then took longs back to break even, then greed, came back power hour and ended small red. Yeah, greed will do that to you. Always be mindful of that. All right, 7:05. For those who aren't here, they'll catch the recording or they'll come a little late. So welcome, everybody. My name is Advent, and I am not a financial advisor. Anything you guys see in this class or any other of my material is not financial advice. It is strictly for educational purposes only. Please do your research before you engage in trading because it can be very risky and you can lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. So for those who are here, welcome. Excited to be here myself. Today's class, we're going to be going over prop firms, pretty much what they are, some benefits, some cons of using them, how they can help you as a trader, things like that. Some ground rules. So you can ask me questions as we're going through the material. Just keep in mind the questions that you can ask me are specifically related to today's class. So for prop firms. So if you ask me, hey, what are options? Hey, what's your strategy? Or hey, where should I be getting into trades? Those type of questions are not for today's class. So today's topic in class is about prop firms. So of course you would ask me that. So of course, let's just stay within the realm of what we're talking about. Bob, I'll answer that question later on. Well done, though. You made me laugh. So prop firms. For those who don't know what prop firms are, to keep it super simple, yes, to keep it super simple, prop firms, and there's different types. There's like the online prop firms that some of you may have heard, like Apex, was Top Step, Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, I think it's called, and some other ones that are there. And there are also prop firms that are maybe like an actual prop firm, that you kind of like literally walk into and you'll work with them. They'll front you some cash and you'll trade for them. And whatever you make, you get it, whatever you make them, you get a cut of it. Mainly what we're going to be discussing today is online prop firms like Apex and things like that, because those are the only ones that I've had experience with. I haven't worked for or been at an actual like brick and mortar prop firm. So essentially, like I mentioned, prop firms are essentially a proprietary firm where they'll front you cash and you just pay a fee for the specific ones that we'll be talking about today. So let's say for the sake of the conversation, I'll show you guys a quick little example before we continue. Let me bring this up. Yeah, Kev, there's like brick and mortar props. They SMB Capital, that's one in New York where they'll pretty much train you and then they'll give you a lot of real money to trade with. Granted, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of training to go through because it's real money. They don't want you to lose a lot of it. So to give you guys an example, let me share my screen real quick so we can see this together. So using Apex as an example, we have, let's say for the sake of the conversation, we have here a 50K account, and then you pay $167 a month for the evaluation stage. And then once you pass the evaluation or the challenge, from there, you will get the actual like funded account, as they call it. And then from there, once you reach the threshold, you can get paid out from that. the first 25K that you make is yours. And then after that, I believe it's a 90-10 split. So if you make 10,000 and you withdraw that, they keep 1,000, you keep 9,000. To me, I'll definitely take that split. So essentially, with the props, they are definitely a good way to build up capital if you don't have that much money to start with. Something to mention for Apex, they usually have a lot of discounts going on, like they have 80% off basically all the time. I haven't not seen them with a discount in maybe the last 2 years I've been using them. So they always have discounts, always keep an eye out for that. So some things to note about prop firms, and I'll share my screen a bit. We'll go back to talking. So like I mentioned, some things that I like about prop firms is that if you don't have that much money starting out with trading, like let's say you only have $200 to trade, that might not be that much money to start with, right? So with the prop firms, you can pay the fee to get one of the accounts. And then from there, you work on passing the evaluation of the challenge. And then once you get the actual funded account where you can get paid out from, you can use those payouts to fund your own account. So those are some things that I like about it. Something to note is, like some pros, like I mentioned, you can leverage a lot higher as opposed to just using, let's say, a $200 account. You might only be able to afford 1 or 2 micro contracts where, let's say, with that same amount of money that if you were to use to pay for a prop account, you can get access to a bigger amount of position sizing. You can use up to 5 or 10 or 40, 50, whatever it may be, contracts, right? Something to note, which I'll go over later, just because you can use that amount doesn't mean you should. And we'll go over more specifics later on. So far, any questions? Making sense? Confusing? And I'm sure somebody's going to ask this question in a bit. The amounts that the prop firms give you, the ones that I'm talking about, it's not real money. Because some people always ask, hey, they're going to give me 25,000 for $50. It's like they're giving you a demo account. They're not actually giving you a real account. So keep that in mind. And we'll go over their business practices a little later on. So, great question. So, if you lose it all you lose is what you paid for the fee, right? So let's say I pay $150 for the evaluation. And then let's say I lose the account or I blow the account or I hit the drawdown, whatever it may be. You just lose whatever you paid for the account. So if you paid $150, then you lose $150 and you got to pay the $150 again or whatever it is. So again, there's no loss on their end because it's just a demo account. They're keeping all the profits from the fees that they charge to give you these accounts and the activation fees and so on and so forth. And you would think, well, that's easy, that they're going to be losing a lot of money if I make a lot of money, right? But a lot of people have a lot of challenges passing these accounts, which I'll mention in a bit. So all you lose, Jay, is pretty much whatever you paid for the account. So if you pay $50, you lose $50, you got to pay that again. Some cons of trading prop firms is when you're trading your regular account, when it comes to a futures account, I believe the tax benefits, I think it's like 60% of the gains are taxed at a long-term rate, and then 40% are taxed at a short-term rate, which would be beneficial tax-wise. Some cons for prop firms is that don't be prop firm food, as Kev mentioned. Some cons for the prop firms is that you're qualified as a contractor in the sense that you're not going to get the same tax benefits as if you were trading your own personal account. So those are some things that you might want to consider. So being as a contractor, they're going to give you, I think they issue you a 1099. And then from there, you go ahead and file your taxes with that. So it's not going to have the same tax benefits, which is one of the cons. Another con that they have is there's a lot of rules for prop firms, right? So for prop firms, some of them have strict rules where they don't allow you to average down. They don't allow you to, let's say, use like any automated software or bots. You can't trade news for the actual funded account. So for those who think, well, I'm just gonna, get this account and trade news, they don't allow that. For the evaluation stage, some of them allow trading news, but for the actual account where you get paid from, they don't allow that. If you take a trade like for news, they'll immediately fail your account and you got to start all over again. So keep that in mind. If you're a swing trader, that's also something else that you need to keep in mind. A lot of these prop firms do not allow swing trading. And for futures, swing trading is 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern when the market's closed. And of course, from Friday to Sunday open. That'll be considered swing trading if you have an open position. There are some prop firms that allow. The only one that I know of for futures is EliteTraderFunding. Apex, I don't believe they have that yet. And Take Profit, I don't think they have that yet from what I've seen. I could be wrong. RE mentioned that you could use a prop firm fee as a write-off. So if you do it as a business, you can look into that. I'm not a tax professional, so please consult yours. None of this is tax advice either. What did you mean not trading on news, like actual news, like CPI data, etc.? Yeah, exactly, Bob. So if you open up, let's say you have a trade for CPI and you get into that trade because of the news, they will immediately fail your account if it's on the actual funded after the evaluation stage. So during the evaluation stage, they will allow that, but for the funded, they don't allow that. RE mentioned that Top Step allows news trading, so you might want to look into them if you like news trading. I personally don't trade news, one, because I can't on the prop firms, but two, even on my personal, if it goes against you, you're going to have a real bad day because since the spike is so volatile. Let's say your stop loss is 50 points away. If it spikes 100, 200 points against you, because it's so volatile, you might get hit with a lot of slippage. So you might get hit with an additional 20, 30, 40 point stop loss or loss against you, as opposed to just at 50 points. So that's something to keep in mind when trading news. So, yep. Yeah, that's another thing for some rules. For take profit trader, you can't be in the trade a minute before and after. So if you're in the trade before, like 5-10 minutes before, they'll allow that. But again, you want to be very careful to not get blown out. So any questions so far before I continue? To go over some more specifics on like drawdown and things like that? Which prop firms integrate best with TradingView? The ones that I know of, I think I know Top Step allows you to, whoever uses my funded futures, if it does, put in the chat. Apex lets you use TradingView. Elite Trader Funding, Take Profit Trader, all of those let you use TradingView. Personally, this is just my opinion and my experience. I find it a lot better to actually, we'll keep this off for now. I find it a lot better to execute my trades on Tradevate and then just use TradingView to monitor the chart, right? If you have like all your drawings there. I have all my charting on Thinkorswim, so I have my chart up on Thinkorswim, and then I only execute my trades on Tradevate because I have the advanced ATM features and I can make really advanced ones, where on TradingView, you only have your take profit and your stop loss. I don't think you can do a trailing stop loss as of yet on TradingView. So if you want to have like auto trails and auto break evens and things like that, you may want to look into executing on either NinjaTrader, well, on Tradevate directly, and then just monitoring the trade on TradingView just to be more efficient. Hey, Marshawn, welcome. Yeah, exactly. So Bob, what you may want to do is to execute the trade on TradingView or Tradevate, and then just monitor it on TradingView, because it'll show up on TradingView's chart when you're logged in. So you can keep that in mind. Again, it's only for what do you call it? It's only for executing on Tradevate. So what one of my mentors does, let's say he has a screen up, 90% of his screen will be showing TradingView, and the other 10% is just showing Tradevate just to execute the trade on it. But everything else, he just monitors it on TradingView. So you can do that. So moving on, some people have questions on like payouts and how the payouts work. So pretty straightforward. Let me bring up let's just keep up my screen and you guys will see my notes at the same time, and we'll go over each one. So going back to Apex, the way the payouts work. So let's say for the sake of the conversation, you got a 25K account and you already passed the evaluation stage, all that good stuff. And when you get the funded account or the PA account for Apex, once you reach $26,600, you can request a payout of a minimum of $500. So you need to get back the profit goal of 26.5K plus $100, and then you can request withdrawals. You need at least 10 trading days in between payout requests. And again, the minimum is $500. Something that you want to keep in mind, though, is that even though the minimum is 500, let's say you want to take out 1,000, you still want to give room for your drawdown, which I'll explain next to make this make sense. So once you reach the requirements for the payout, you get to the withdrawal threshold, then you request whatever it is that you want to request. They'll send it to your account within 2 to 3 days. They've been pretty quick. The last payout, I think it took about 3-4 hours for me, which blew me away because they usually take a lot longer than that. So I'm glad they got their act together. And again, each prop firm has different payout rules. Like for Apex, you need at least 10 trading days in between payouts, and you're above the withdrawal threshold, and then you can withdraw those funds out. For Take Profit Trader, what I love is that you can withdraw every single day if you want to, as long as you're above the withdrawal threshold for them. But again, they have different rules, right? Like for Take Profit, they have a daily drawdown, whereas Apex does not. So you want to read all the rules of all the prop firms so you can get a better idea of which ones are better suited to you, your trading style, all that good stuff. So some things to make note of. The trailing drawdown, this tends to get people a lot. The trailing drawdown is essentially this. Let's say for the sake of the conversation, the trailing drawdown is $1,500 for the 25K account. So 25K account, trailing drawdown is $1,500. So you cannot lose $1,500 or else you lose the account, right? What confuses people is this. The trailing drawdown follows you whether it's an unrealized or a realized trade. What does that mean? Let's say I go from 25K to 25.5K. Whoops, 25.5K. So the drawdown, instead of being at, let's say, 23,500, because I increased my account value by $500, now the trailing drawdown has followed me by $500. So now it's at 24,000 compared to the 23.5,000, 23.5K, right? So if you lose 500 and you go back to 25K, that doesn't mean that your drawdown is still 23,500. It is now 2,400 because that's the peak that your account reached. So you want to be very careful about, not securing your gains. Another example, let's say you go from 25K to 26.5K and you do not secure that profit, and then you go all the way back down to 25K. You would think, well, I'm good because my drawdown is still 23.5K. That is incorrect. You will actually blow your account because the drawdown increased with you by 1,500, which put your drawdown at 25K. So if you don't secure any of this $1,500 in unrealized gains and it goes back to 25K, you blow the account and you lose the challenge. You got to start all over again. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Confusing? Making sense? Yep, definitely stop losses. Like for me, well, I'll go over this in a little bit. Well, I guess I'll talk about it now and then I'll talk about it a little more later. So for me, what I like to do is each specific trade that I take, after a specific amount that I hit point-wise, I'll set my trade to auto break even or auto trail so I can trim some profit and secure some gains, and then it'll continue moving my stop up as the trade goes in my favor. That way, I don't let $500 or $1,000 go back to zero, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, depending on the account size. So keep that in mind. Any questions on the trading drawdown before I continue? And something to note, some prop firms, they have static drawdowns where the drawdown does not move. It stays fixed forever. So for example, for Apex, they have the static. So the max loss you can lose is 625, but it doesn't follow you. So keep that in mind. So you're being forced to make money. Learn how to withdraw the profits. Essentially, again, the prop firms are designed to make you lose if you don't have proper structure to your trading plan. So you want to make sure that at least until you get out of the drawdown phase, that you're taking profits as you should, right? So let's say once you get the funded account, you pass the evaluation and you get the actual account that you can get the payouts from. Once you reach 26.6K or whatever the profit goal is plus 100, the drawdown stops following you. So in this case, if I got to the funded account and I got to 26.6K, my drawdown will forever be $25,100. So even if I make 1,000 above this is not going to increase to 26.1K. It's going to stay at 25.1K forever. So from there, if you have a strategy where you hold your trades longer for bigger wins, you have more leeway once the trading drawdown stops following you. So you can keep that in mind. You can, keep on taking profit relatively quickly until you get out of the drawdown. And then from there, you can go ahead and, let your moves go, longer than you normally would, or normally would according to the drawdown rules. Hopefully that made sense. I said drawdown a million times. I wouldn't say YOLO because I never encourage YOLOing. If you want to gamble, go to the casino. So trailing drawdown, are we clear? Any questions on trailing drawdown? Yeah, that too. Like Bob mentioned, never let green go red. Yeah. And when you YOLO, that creates bad habits, which you actually, I was talking to a trader before we got on this call where he was saying that for props, he would size in really big and blow accounts. And then when he gets the funded account and he passes the evaluation, from there, he will still blow accounts. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, just because, which I'll go over with you guys, risk management in a bit, just because they allow you 10 contracts does not mean you should be using 10 contracts, because you can blow your account super quick. And then that'll create bad habits, which you do not want to bring across accounts. And I asked him, is max leverage part of your trading plan just because they allow? The answer is no, that's not part of your trading plan. So you shouldn't be doing that. Again, this is designed to make you lose and make you make them money. You want to put money in your pockets, not theirs. So regardless of what they allow you to do, it still needs to be in accordance to your trading plan and your risk tolerance. So keep that in mind. I don't play poker, Bob. I'm going to imagine that's a great analogy, but I'll leave that up to you. So real, the evaluation stage is the first step in getting funded. So let's say the 25K account, I need to make I need to make $1,500 in profit. So I need to hit 26,500 in the account to pass the evaluation stage. And then once you pass the evaluation stage, from there, once you pass the evaluation stage, you sign the paperwork, then you pay the activation fee for the actual funded account where you can get paid out from. And then from there, you can start getting payouts after you hit the withdrawal limit. I don't only use Apex. I use Apex and Take Profit Trader. I haven't used any of the other ones. Cool. So going back to some things that I want to talk to you guys about regarding, so the account size, I consider that a gimmick. Now, what does this mean? We'll talk about risk management now. So the account, even though it's a 25K account, I don't look at it as a 25K account. I actually look at it as to whatever the drawdown is, right? So 25K account, they allow you maximum loss of 1,500, 50K, 2,500, 75K, 2,750, so on and so forth, right? So that's how you kind of want to look at these accounts when you're trading them. Not like, oh, I have a 25K account. This is cool. It's like you actually have a $1,500 account. And again, with the risk management, they allow you 4 contracts. Doesn't mean you should be using 4 contracts. And I'm going to show you guys an example on why. Let's say you're trading NQ, which is everybody's favorite for whatever reason. In my opinion, I would not trade NQ if you're new to futures. One contract on NQ is $20 per point. So 4 contracts would be $80 per point. Let's say the move is 10, it moves 10 points. A 10-point move is $800. So you're pretty much 20 points away from blowing your account. That's one candle on NQ. So again, just because they allow you 4 contracts does not mean you should be using 4 contracts. Again, they want to encourage you to make silly mistakes and over leverage so you can fail and you can pay them more money. Again, you don't want to be prop food, as Louis mentioned earlier. You want to put money in your pockets, not theirs. So for this account, what I would actually do and what I did when I first started, I instead used 5 MNQ, right? So, whoops, let me go to MNQ for those who don't know about futures. So one contract is pretty much a tenth the value of an NQ contract. So we got $2 per point. And in this case, 10 points would give you, is that correct? 10 points? Yeah, $20. My math is correct. So 10 points would give you $20 per MNQ, right? My stop loss generally was about 10 to 12 points on NQ at the time before the volatility of the market increased. So essentially, my stop loss on every trade was, and I used to use 5 MNQ. Whoops. So pretty much $100 would be my loss for every trade. So here I have 10 losing trades in a row before my account will blow up or I will lose the account. So you can see how sizing is very important, right? As opposed to going for a home run and blowing the account in a 20-point move, which again, let's go to NQ real quick so we can see this together. On average, one candle is between 15 and 20 points. So pretty much in one 5-minute candle, you're either going to pass the account or you're going to blow it. Probably going to blow it though. So you always want to practice proper risk management when you're trading these prop firms and even your own account. Because again, you do not want to take bad habits from the prop into your personal and vice versa. You always want to follow your rules and your system regardless of what you're doing. You would just amplify the position size in relation to the drawdown and the account size that you choose. Making sense? Any questions on that? And at the end of the class, I'll give you guys one of my bread and butter setups that may be able to help you. Any questions before I continue, or are we clear? Let me know in the chat. All right, let's continue. So some other things to mention is very important that I see a lot of people, well, we'll go over these 3 things for now. The get rich quick scheme. Again, I get it. We all want to make thousands of millions of dollars every day. That's not a realistic expectation because I always tell everybody that I work with and other class that I have, your goal is to focus on your system, not on the money, because then you get blinded by that, right? You're here focusing so much on passing the prop firm account, getting the payout, getting this, that you throw your rules out the window. And then what happens? You blow the account. Now you got to start all over again. Every time you break your rule is a step further from your goals. There was somebody that I knew that spent over $10,000 on evaluations, never got a payout, not one time. Spent over $10,000 on evaluation fees and activation fees and never got a payout because he was so focused on the money and not focusing on his system. So again, you might think, oh, well, yeah, it's only $40. It's only $50 for the fee. If I blow it, then I'll just do it again. But that adds up. So you want to be very mindful on what you're doing. Because, you blow an account 10 times, it's $500. When you could just follow your rules and you could have just, been on point, right? Because remember, don't get so caught up in making money so quick. I would rather a prop firm challenge take me 1 month and me passing, following my rules, than blowing 20 of them in a week trying to get paid out quickly. Again, all of that money adds up. $100 a day will give you about $50K a year. Actually, $200 a day gives you $50K a year, if I recall correctly. $100 a day gives you about $25K a year, if my math is correct. So remember, take your time with the prop firms. Let them do, just keep on trading accordingly. Don't get so caught up in trying to pass it so quickly, because again, passing a prop firm quickly is not part of your trading plan. They're going to entice you to pass it quickly and make mistakes with, oh, it's only $40. We have 80% off. Or we have activation fees are $85. You can pass the account in 1 day if you want to. That's all designed to help you fail. Again, the biggest thing is patience, right? If you make $200 a day, that's $4,000 a month, assuming you consistently make $200 a day. Even if you make $500 a day, whatever it is, that all adds up. So remember, avoid the get-rich-quick scheme. Get rich slowly. You're going to reach the goal you want, but you have to do it properly. You can't skip anything, and you can't, take any shortcuts to success. So let's see. Is there a specific platform that shows all executed trades so you can visualize and examine your trades from what went wrong? Great question, Bob. I know on NinjaTrader and Tradevate, when I take trades, well, I only use Tradevate, but I've seen on NinjaTrader, it shows you when you got in and when you got out and things like that. And what I tend to do for Tradevate is after I'm done trading, I'll go to the trading results and I'll download my trade file, and then I'll upload it on TraderSync, online trading platform that I use. And then from there, it'll tell me exactly what time I got in, what I traded, my position size, how much I made, how much I lost. And then in the notes section, I'll just write out what happened, what setup I took, what worked, what didn't work, what I could have done better, things like that. So you can do that if it works for you. But yeah, Tradevate and NinjaTrader, on the chart itself, it will tell you when you got in, when you got out, things like that. And you could download the trade files to give you more information. You could do that with a prop or even with your personal account. Both are fine. Sweet. So yeah, Marshawn, with spending a lot of money on the props, always bring it back to, just take your time, right? Those $500 days, they'll add up. And a good exercise that I have my students do that have trouble with this, I have them get a piece of paper or two. Actually, one piece of paper, you make a line through the middle. One column states how much money you lost by not following your rules, and then how much money you gained by following your rules, and how much you would have gained if you followed your rules for those trades, right? So now you can see on paper how much money you've shredded by not following your rules, and how much you've won by following your rules. That can give you a big eye opener and a wake up call into what you need to work on. Because until you write it down, it's just going to be in your head. So something to keep in mind of. Let's see. Any other questions? Trade copiers. So people generally have questions about trade copiers. Trade copiers are essentially when, let's say I get two funded accounts, I can connect them together with a trade copier, and I could take the same trade on two accounts. So let's say if I take a trade and I make $200, I actually made $400 because it was copied on both accounts. Apex, I believe, allows you to get up to 20 accounts. So let's say you have 20 accounts, you can connect them all together. If you make $100, that's $2K that you made on that trade. So trade copiers are definitely good if you want to, increase that exponentially. What I would do is I would focus on one account first. After you get your payout from the one account and then you're confident and you're doing well, then you can get more accounts and copy them to, get bigger payouts and work less. So instead of me, let's say, taking 3 trades to make $1,000, I might only take 1 trade across 5 accounts and make $1,000. So it makes it easier to work less and make the same amount of money or more. What I'll probably be doing soon, I'll probably keep my Tradevate accounts, but I'm gonna use NinjaTrader to use Replicanto because I hear that trade copier is really good. Apex does have a trade copier, but I hear they don't update it. Replicanto gets updated, I think, on a weekly basis from friends that I have that I use it. Tradevate has a trade copier as well, but I hear it's a little bootleg where sometimes when you copy the trade, the copied accounts, it doesn't copy your ATM or your stop loss and take profit orders. So you'll have like naked trades open on the other account. So keep that in mind. What else can I speak on? Great stuff, Marshawn. I have my rules here as well. I have them printed and laminated next to me so I can always see them. No excuses. Yeah, that's why I don't like the Tradevate copy trader. I'm like, then there's no point in me copy trading because I'm literally just opening up naked trades on the other side, on the other accounts, and that's too much risk. Some things, and I'll give you my experiences with Apex and Take Profit Trader. So Apex, the way I trade, it doesn't give me any issues with the trading drawdown and things like that, and the rules they have. Like some people don't like that you can't average down into the trades. I never average down, so that doesn't bother me. I don't trade new, so I don't care about that. All my trades are generally within a similar dollar amount, so the consistency rule doesn't affect me. All in all, my issues with Apex, I haven't had many issues. Sure, they've been slow with the payouts. They have gotten better. Something to note as well is they have been getting faster with the payouts. Like I mentioned, the last one, it took 3 hours for them to pay me out, which I was shocked. I'm like, wow, all right, they're finally doing what they say they would. The only issue I've ever had with Apex is when I was messing around with the mobile app. Well, not the mobile app, but logging into Tradevate on the mobile browser on my phone. I was inputting a trade, and while I was inputting the trade, I didn't hit send. I didn't hit execute to send the trade in. While I was inputting all the parameters for my take profit and stop loss, it opened up the trade by itself with no settings on it, and I never hit send. So I get out of the trade entry screen. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I realized that a trade opened up even though I never hit send. So I immediately market closed the trade, and I messaged them. I was like, hey, are you able to credit my account back for these $100 that I lost, which is not much. $100 is nothing. But when they got back to me, they were like, hey, we always recommend using the desktop version or the computer version because the mobile version is glitchy and it has issues. And, we can't credit you back. So in my head, I'm like, all right, so you're admitting that the mobile version has issues. And because of the issues, you're not going to give me that money back. Which again, it's $100. I don't care about that. It's not about the $100. It's about the principle. I'm like, you're admitting that your system or your thing is flawed, but you're not taking responsibility for it. And apparently it's my fault that a ghost order opened up. So that got me annoyed. For Take Profit Trader, I haven't had any issues with them at all. So far, smooth sailing for Take Profit. Their customer service is pretty good. They have a live customer service, which is really helpful. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to them like that. The payouts, always pretty quickly. Never had any issues with the payouts for them in my experiences. The only thing that's a little annoying is the daily drawdown. So I'm limited to how much I can lose in a day, or else the account is gone, which I don't like. Apex doesn't have that, which is great. But again, each prop firm has their pros and cons. I like on Take Profit that I could take money out every day, while Apex I can't. But again, I'm limited to that daily drawdown. So I have to be very, very mindful of my max loss. What else? Yeah, ghost orders, definitely scary. I'll give you a funny story, Marshawn. My buddy of mine, it was Saturday. He was checking on some charts and an order opened up on Saturday. We know that for futures, the market is closed on Saturday. And I think it was like $500 that he lost. He was like, what the heck is going on? And then he reached out to Apex. He was like, hey, this ghost order opened up on Saturday. Can you credit my account the $500? They're like, no, we can't credit that back because it was a user error. He's like, how is it a user error when the markets are closed on Saturday and you can't even open up trades? To me, that was ridiculous. I'm like, you guys, I don't know. Something must be going on over there because that's wild. I'm like, bro, the markets are closed. You can't open up trades. So if that was me, I would have went to my credit card to be like, hey, I need to charge back these last few payments. That's wild. Other than that, those are my preferred, things with those prop firms. Any questions you guys have? Any questions at all over prop firms? Put it in the chat. In the description of this video, I have prop firms that I use and different codes that they offer. I might actually have it in the Discord. I'll post it in the chat. Hold on. For you guys. Top Step I haven't used yet. I hear they're really good. So EliteTraderFunding is the first one that I ever used. There's a link there. I think they have a 50% off code going on. Apex has an 80% off. That is save now at checkout. And what else? Take Profit Trader. Yeah, Take Profit Trader is the other one that I use. The link is in the chat and also in the description of this video for those watching the recording. What software does Apex use to trade on? You can use NinjaTrader or Tradevate. One thing to pay close attention to, because I've had people mess up here, when you're signing up for the prop firms, be very mindful of the specific ones that you choose. Right here where it says Rhythmic, if you choose Rhythmic, you can only trade on NinjaTrader. So if you wanted to trade on TradingView or Tradevate, do not pick this plan. You need to pick the Tradevate plan, where it'll let you trade on Tradevate and TradingView. So keep that in mind. I've had people like, hey, I can't connect to TradingView. It's like, you chose the NinjaTrader one. You can only use NinjaTrader. So keep that in mind. For those who use Apple devices, you cannot use NinjaTrader or Rhythmic natively on Mac devices. So you need to You need to either use a virtual machine or use a Windows computer to use NinjaTrader. Since I have my Windows computer over here on my other screen, I can use either or. So keep that in mind. Nice. Can you use the NinjaTrader web version? Great question. I haven't used NinjaTrader myself at all, so I can't say if you can or can't. I know they have a mobile app and of course the desktop. I'm not sure if NinjaTrader has a web version. Might need to reach out to them or check on their website. All right. Whatever questions you guys have, put it in the chat. Anything else you need me to clear up on? I'd imagine, Ayo, that if you can just log into NinjaTrader on the website, it should be the same thing. Because like on Tradebate, I can log in the web version or the desktop version or the mobile version, and it's all the same thing. Negative, Isaiah. So if you can, so depending on the plan you choose, you're either going to use NinjaTrader or Tradebate/TradingView. And for do you have to buy access to Tradebate? No. So the prop evaluation, the NinjaTrader license, and the real-time data, all that stuff is included. Bob, 50 and 100 is the promo code for Take Profit Trader. 50 and 100, 50% off the evaluation, and it gives you 100. So you get the activation fee back, 100% back once you get the first payout. So yeah, Isaiah, you don't need to pay for any data. All you pay for is the evaluation, and then you pay for the activation fee once you pass the evaluation. That's all you pay for. You don't pay for real-time data. You don't pay to use NinjaTrader. You don't pay for none of that. It's already included in the evaluation fee. Of course, Bob. You're welcome. All right. What other questions do you guys have regarding prop firms? Also, Bob, to answer your question, this morning I had eggs and bacon. Marshawn said, don't ever use Rhythmic or NinjaTrader Mobile. It's very bad. Keep in mind. So keep that in mind. Generally, you always want to be taking these trades or when you're trading props and even your personal accounts on the computer. You want to be able to see the big picture, right? And what's going on. So for those who may have come late or for those who are still in here, whatever questions you guys have, put it in the chat. If there are no other questions in a minute, I will go over the wrap-up notes. Which one's the best you've used so far? So Apex and Take Profit Trader are the ones that I've used. I enjoy them both. I just prefer one or the other for different reasons. Like Take Profit Trader, I enjoy them because of the daily withdrawals that I can take. As opposed to Apex, I'm limited to 2 withdrawals a month, which is fine. But if you want to take your money quicker, Take Profit is good. Just have to be mindful that Take Profit has a daily loss limit where Take Profit or where Apex does not. So Take Profit Trader, I've never had any issues with them. Apex, never had any issues except that issue when I was using the mobile version. But again, it is what it is. Ignoring tax implications, do you have any situations where you don't recommend funded accounts? Great questions. I was literally about to say, if somebody's a gambler, they should definitely not use prop firms. Well, I would say, if your account is already like a good amount, is if you already have a good amount of capital, then you may not want to use prop firms. That's the only thing that I can think of right now. Yeah, Gambler pretty much states like everything why I wouldn't recommend or, tell anybody to use a prop account. One thing to note as well, personal opinion, anything above a 100K account, I would even argue 50K account is kind of useless because the profit goal and the trailing drawdown gets disproportionate the higher you go. So let's say for the 300K account, the profit goal is 20K, the max loss is 7,500, right? Where let's say the 100K or the 50K account is 3,000 to 2,500. So it's almost 1-to-1 ratio, right? Or the 25K account, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So something to keep in mind, in my personal opinion, anything above a 50 or 100K account is useless because you need to make a lot more than you're allowed to lose, which is going to encourage you to size up a lot bigger. So something to keep in mind. Again, my personal opinion, you take that information as whatever way you want. All right. What was everybody's biggest takeaway from today's class? Put it in the chat. Or any last questions before we wrap up? Ooh, actually, before you guys even mentioned that, I didn't go over my trade model that I was going to share with you guys. You guys can type that in there. I will give you guys one of my bread and butter setups. Here's why I always got to write down notes. You guys have me talking a lot and I forget. All right, one of my bread and butter setups is the W trade model, which you can also find in the playbook section of your takeaways. You got to watch the replay. Yeah, definitely. And Rio, any questions you have, just message me in the Discord and we'll talk about it. All right, bread and butter setup, the W model. There was one, I think on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And then there was one on the 15-minute on Friday, which we'll go over. So the W trade model, for those who trade ICT, you just know this as an order block. I just get in differently than you guys. So W trade model, pretty straightforward. You may also know this as a double bottom. It's just a W that we're looking for. So we can see one right here. So for the W, the first thing that we're looking for, the first step, we look for this on the 5 and the 15-minute time frame. It can appear on higher time frames, but generally I look for them on the 5 and 15-minute. The 5-minute, I look for it between 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. And the 15-minute, I'll look for it between 12:45 to about 1:30, 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. If it doesn't look like it's setting up by about 1 p.m. Eastern, then I just shut everything down. So step 1 is going to be a move down from market open. Step 2 is going to be a retracement back up, creating the center of the W. Step 3 is going to be a higher low is created. And then step 4 is we reverse back up and you get into the trade. Your first target is going to be the center of the W right here. And then your second target is going to be the completed W. So to show you an example right here that we had last Thursday, for those who trade the strat, this is pretty straightforward on when you're going to get in. You're going to get on the first reversal back up. So we have here, we get the move down, which is step 1. Step 2, the retracement back up. And then we come back down, make a higher low, and we reverse back up. So I'm getting in there. My stop loss is under the bottom right of the W. My full target is going to be, once the W completes up here, I'm going to be taking profit at the center of the W. I usually use the body as opposed to the wick right here in case we get sells and then never hit that. So I usually get this first candle there as opposed to this highest point. And then the second target would be, the completed W right there. So in this specific version right here, I would get in here. My first target was the center of the W, which was 40 at the body, 44 points. And then my second target was up here, either at 125 or 136, probably at 125 though. And that's how I would look at this trade. This setup is really good to catch low of day, to go all the way back to high of day. This specific version here failed because it should not retrace back this much, as we can see here. I'll show you a better example in a bit. So this is one example I took on Thursday. And the example that I took on Friday was on the 15-minute, which actually appeared during the morning time, which was weird, but we'll accept it. So we have another one right here. We have a move down from market open. We get a retracement back up. We get a higher low, and we take the reversal back up. So as soon as the candle reverses to the upside and breaks this high, we're going to go long. I usually use buy stop orders to make sure I don't get left behind. So again, first target is going to be the body. Second target is going to be the completed W, which could be either right here or this wick over there, whatever you prefer. I would probably use this one over here. I prefer if a hammer prints an inside bar or a 3 up or an outside bar. So a 3 candle, for those who trade the strat like this, people who don't trade the strat, this as an outside bar or a mother bar. It breaks both sides. So a 3 bar, a hammer, or an inside bar is what I prefer to get in on these trades when I'm getting in. So as we can see here, we pretty much caught a reversal near low of day, and we pretty much took high of day and continued higher from there. It went pretty much 200 points. I did not collect the 200 points. I only hit first target, and then I got stopped out at break even for the rest of the position. Another trade, another W that I took, shout out to one of my students that called this out because I was not looking at RTY yesterday. So this happened yesterday. We have another W print right here. As we can see, move down from market open, retracing back up, come back down, make a higher low, and we go 3 up. The 3 ups are my preferred versions where it goes outside bar up. As always, we get in as soon as it reverses back up. Stop loss is under the bottom right of the W. First target's the center of the W, which it hit about 30 minutes later from getting in. And then it kind of just went sideways and never hit the first target. So this one would have stopped me out with my trailing order. Sometimes you get really good ones like this one that happened, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. Yep, right over here. It's not the cleanest looking W, but I'll accept it. So move down from market open, retracing back up, we'll make a higher low, and we reverse back up. So you would have gotten in here. Stop loss under the bottom right. My max target was the completed W right here. Nice, easy trade. Yes, I was definitely upset. Like I said, these usually, if it's a valid one, it's gonna take high of day. So you could literally just held your whole position. I am not going to hold a position for 500 points. I'll tell you that right now. If I did hold it, I would be on vacation right now and I wouldn't be talking to you guys. And you also will have to stomach all these pullbacks. So generally, this setup would allow you to get near low of day and take it all the way back to high of day. But you still want to take profit as it goes in your favor. So one of my bread and butter setups, it appears at least 2 to 3 times a week. Just got to be present to take it. Any questions before we wrap up and end this call? Any questions? Put it in the chat. I'll give you guys 3 more minutes. If I don't see any response, 2 minutes, then we'll end it here. Hey, of course, Bob. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate your questions. Hey, absolutely. I'm glad I helped you guys. All right. Let's see what happens in 10 seconds, and then we'll wrap up. Sweet. Well, it looks like there aren't any other questions. Appreciate you guys for coming out. We will have more classes. I'm probably going to hold a class for beginners because there's been a lot of people who've been wanting to get into trading from groups that I support, and they don't even know where to start. So we'll probably have a beginner's class soon. Remember this Friday, for those who are new to my channel, 7 p.m. every Friday, the trade recap session where I go over my trades and I go over your trades. So every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, come join us for the trade recap sessions where you can go over your trades and give you feedback. Other than that, thank you guys as always for coming out. Any questions at all, even if something comes up after this session, just send me a message and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Other than that, enjoy your Tuesday and I'll see you guys on the internet. Recap and drinks on the host. And definitely hit the like button. And if this was helpful in any way, share this with people that you think can, benefit from it. It can help the channel grow and give information to help people out. Other than that, I'll see you guys and enjoy your night.